Evening, everyone, and welcome back to Sudden Wealth. If you do enjoy my content, please consider dropping that like and subscribe. It's highly appreciated and it helps greatly the channel. Now, Bitcoin and Ethereum, as well as the most of crypto, is a bit under pressure today. It's fine. We are in the sideways kind of period of the cycle, which tends to be extremely boring. But we know it's just look at 2019. Same story. Look at 2015, same story. So just try to relax. You're gonna have these kind of swings. 22K on Bitcoin is still possible, although the more we stay above 30K, the less likely it is to materialize. So also keep that in mind. Ethereum is still outperforming a bit Bitcoin since the beginning of July, but I do think this will actually steepen a bit over the period of the summer. Coming in with some ETF updates, you now see a lot of the previous companies that basically applied for the ETF and got a no are trying to reapply. I do think the last one was Valkyrie. I do think BlackRock will get the first yes, but then the doors will open for the remaining ones. Now, with all this conversation about the ETF, it actually gave me an idea of making a short video, but just to kind of highlight why crypto was invented. So most people have forgotten that crypto was created, Bitcoin was created in response to the 2008 financial crisis. And what Bitcoin did and does is it solves the issue of manipulation of money, which central banks do by printing it, removing liquidity, raising rates, lowering rates, but essentially by printing it. And the way that the banking system works is most people think that when you deposit your money in the bank, that money gets lent out for investments. That's actually not true. What happens is, let's say you deposit $1 million. The bank goes to the Fed, says, hey guys, I have $1 million, give me 10 million. And the Fed gives them 10 million, and that million serves as a reserve. So that million never moves. And then riskier banks will use the entire 10 million. The less risky banks will try to hold some of it in cash in case a lot of deposit withdrawals happen, just like the ones we've seen recently. But the point is that the money is leveraged 10 to 1. And the more they print it, the more value it loses. If you look at the chart of the dollar's purchasing power over the last 100 years, it has lost 98%. The only advantage of the dollar is that all the other ones lost close to 100%, and some of them lost really 100%. So in that sense, I mean, sure, losing 98 is better than losing 99.5. I agree. But two reasons it was created was to solve the corruptibility of money, trust math and not man, and most importantly, to solve self-custody. You see, gold was a good alternative for money, but it has an issue. It's cumbersome. To transport is expensive to transport. You need to trust somebody else to hold it for you if you have large amounts of it. And then it can be easily confiscated as it was in the US and in the UK. So Bitcoin was invented to solve the issue of self-custody of your own money. And that money had certain rules that are not supposed to be changed. So that is the great invention. Now, when you leave your money in exchanges, when you trade in exchanges, and I'm not saying day trading, I'm talking about swapping your coins for another one like one time or something. It doesn't need to be day trading. But if you hold your money in an exchange, if you participate in some of these staking programs that used to exist in platforms like Celsius, every time you do things like that, you are doing the opposite of why crypto was invented. And what you need to realize is that when you do the opposite of why crypto was invented, you get to be on the headlines, unfortunately, of losing all your money. Now, I understand the appeal of convenience. I understand for a newcomer, things like, oh, you need to set up your MetaMask and then you need to get a Trezor or a Ledger for cold storage, which, by the way, my opinion, you should do. Cold storage and you owning your own keys is the solution, and you be responsible for your own keys, your own crypto, is why crypto was invented. To remove coins from exchange, you should do it. Otherwise, Mt. Gox, BlockFi, Celsius, FTX, how many of these do you need to see until you learn to hold your own money and to actually do what crypto was invented in the first place to do and to solve? Okay? So sometimes in the middle of, of all this noise, confusion, craziness, it's important to step back, look at the origins and think, why was it invented in the first place? And is my behavior matching the reason of its creation? If you give your coins to someone else, meaning in an exchange, for example, you are doing the opposite of why crypto was invented. You no longer own your own coins. You are what is called an unsecured creditor to the exchange, which means if that thing goes bankrupt, you are the last to be paid, if there's anything left, which most likely there isn't. And when you give your coins to someone else, they steal your money, they lose your money, they block your money by mistake, whatever, you end up losing your money. So be very careful with this, not financial advice, but self-custody of your own assets in cold storage was why crypto was invented. And if, by the way, if anyone DMs you on Instagram, Telegram, whatever it is, do not give them your private keys. Don't even give your private keys to your wife or to your husband, to your children, to anybody, Not your keys, not your coins. Go back to the basics. Take advantage of this quieter period in terms of we just in sideways movement, and reassess these basic principles of crypto, particularly if you're new in the space. Understand the origin of it. And by the way, always listen to opposite sides of the same argument, okay? Don't go after Bitcoin maxis, Ethereum maxis, altcoin number 1,500 maxi. Listen to both sides and educate yourself. Take advantage of this more boring period to do those kind of things, okay? So thank you very much, and I'll catch you in the next one.